Nvidia, and also, guys, we're going to be discussing our top 10 investments for 2026 as well. So, guys, Nvidia here, right? They are the king of AI, like artificial intelligence, everything that we use, right? AI these days. What makes the engine go? It's these chips that Nvidia has. And so they reported their quarterly earnings report today. So I'm going to break that down for you guys to help you understand what is a quarterly earnings report, right? So let's say this right here, right? Let's say you own a lemonade stand. And every 3 months, your parents sit down with you and ask you these specific questions here. How much money
Mm.
did you make? How much money did you spend on the lemons? Did you make a profit? Extra money left over? Are more people buying your lemonade more than before, right? And so every company that we invest in, or every publicly traded company, they have what you call is a quarterly earnings report. So McDonald's, Microsoft, TJ Maxx is even a publicly traded company. JP Morgan Chase, which is the biggest bank in America. Any company you invest in has to report a quarterly earnings report. And that quarterly earnings report gives investors a strong indication of how that particular company performed over the last 3 months. And essentially, it's these questions here, right? How much money did these companies make? How much money did they spend on their products or services? Did they make any profit? That's very big because as an investor, you need to understand, did the company that you invested in, did they make a profit? Did they make money? Right? After their expenses and everything else. Are more people buying these products? Where is this company going? So when I say a quarterly earnings report, this is the breakdown right here as far as exactly what we want to be able to look at. All right. Now, here is NVIDIA's earning report. Now, guys, when we talk about revenue, I'm breaking this down again to level to elementary student. Revenue right here is how much money did they make? And guys, here is phenomenal information here. NVIDIA, over the last 3 months, they made $68.1 billion versus also two guys. Wall Street come out with different estimates on how much they think that companies will make over a quarterly period. Wall Street estimate for Nvidia over the last 3 months that for the money that they was to make was 65 billion. And look what here happened today. Nvidia made $68.1 billion over the last 3 months. And this $68.1 billion is up 73% from the amount of money that they made from a year ago. So that's just good news for Nvidia because now this company here, they beat Wall Street expectations. And at the same time, the amount of money that they made a year ago to now is up 73%. So that's now telling us this stock is going to move off this information here, right? Because it was what you call a revenue beat. Then you go right here and you look at they make their next quarter revenue prediction as well. So in these quarterly earnings report, they tell you how much money that we plan to make in the future, right? So next quarter revenue prediction on how much money they plan to make. Nvidia came out today and said for the next 3 quarters, we plan on making $78 billion. Now, this past 3 months, they made $68.1 billion. In the next 3 months, their expectation is 78 billion. And then Wall Street estimate for Nvidia is $72.8 billion. So the crazy thing about this is when Wall Street come out with these expectations right here, Nvidia always exceed these expectations, and they've done it the last 12 straight quarters where they've exceeded Wall Street expectations. And so now we look at this right here, right? Net income. What was Nvidia's net income? The money remaining after all their expenses, their taxes, it's basically, guys, this right here. It's basically your take home pay. So Nvidia in the last 3 months, After all their expenses on all the different products and the services and the research and everything that they spend the money on, their net income, guys, was $42.9 billion. So with this right here, they made $68.1 billion. But if you look right here, their net income over the last 3 months was $42.9 billion. That's how much money they made. And crazy thing about this, guys, this is up 94% from a year ago. They killing the game. They killing the game. And guys, 12 consecutive quarters. Now let's look at this right here. How have Nvidia stock performed over the last 5 quarters? Now, I mean, over the last 5+ years. Now I'm getting ready to show you guys this here, right? And the reason I talk about this company so much is because they are the most valuable company in the world. They own and represent 8% of the overall stock market. So if Nvidia move, so will the US stock market. Nvidia don't move, stock market don't move that much. It has a huge influence on the stock market. So now, when we go right here, let's go and look at this here, right? How have Nvidia performed over the last 5+ years here, guys? This is pretty staggering right here, right? So I want to go over here and show you this here, right? So using a website right here, onestock1.com. It's very good in itself here, right? Onestock1.com. It gives you the annual yearly returns of any publicly traded company here, right? So we got Nvidia right here. And guys, so it shows us 2024, but let me just tell you right here. So you want to look at this column right here, percent or gain loss, right? Nvidia here in 2025, it was up 39%. So it's not showing here. But look here, guys, 2024, it was up 171%. 2023, it was up 238%. In 2022, everything was down because we had high inflation. Everything was down. This is perfect time to buy Nvidia right here, right? Then right here in 2021, it was up 125%. This is when most people in the financial community, here in the LesWin financial community, this when I first introduced Nvidia in November 2021. All right. 2020, it was up 121%. So now, guys, you're seeing some very big numbers when it comes to Nvidia, right? And why you guys are making money. So check this out. I was speaking to a young lady today, and I said, man, I gotta take a screenshot of this right here. Because I said, sweetie, this is gonna be a very great lesson that I'm gonna teach on tonight about Nvidia. And so, guys, this right here, I want you guys to take a screenshot of this with your phones because this Nvidia position right here, if you look at it right here, right? When you go into your Nvidia, I mean, not Nvidia, when you go to your Fidelity portfolios and you go to positions, after summary, you have positions. Guys, you want to look at this total gain or loss right here, right? And I scroll down right here and I looked at this right here for Nvidia. Now, this is a young lady here in her mid 30s. So if you look at it, her Nvidia position is up 215%, 215.28%. Guys, this is why we talk about Nvidia so much because you can see these other positions that she have. Apple is up 44%, QQQ is up 46%, VOO is 46, 44%. Mainly all you guys have QQQ, these core funds right here, right? Or these core positions. These are your US index funds, all right? But guys, Nvidia be moving different, man. Because guess what? Her stuff is up 215%. But you go right here and you look, she put you go your cost basis. Your cost basis is basically how much you put into the investment. Her cost basis is $499. But if you go right here, you see the value of her Nvidia position is $1,575.66. So she put $499.76 into it, and now it's worth 1,000 cents. That's why it's up 215%. So anytime you go and you want to see how your investments or how much you put into it, you can always go right here and look at the cost basis. That's how much she put into it. And guess what? That's how much her average share price is when she bought it. It was $62 per share when she bought it. And as of today, when we looked at it, Nvidia was at $197 per share. This is why I always tell you guys this is the gift that keeps on giving. Because if she bought it for $62, as Nvidia stock continue to go up, it's gonna go to 300, it's gonna go to 400 one day, right? But she bought it for $62 per share. She's still gonna be able to make money off this here because she bought it for $62 a share. And as the stock go up, we call this right here the gift that keeps on giving. This is why you go right here. You could have went and bought that same $62 on a shirt, and you ain't gonna get no money back. You ain't gonna get a 215% return. When you go and buy that Uber Eats, it ain't gonna give you a 215% return. When you go to shopping at TJ Maxx and Ross and all that other bull crap that you buying, that ain't gonna give you no money back. That's why we teaching you guys you got to be able to put your money to work the same way that you go to work. And guess what? Eventually, your money can make just as much money as you work at your job. Just as much. All right. Now, if you look at this right here, this is another good example. When you look at your cash and you look at held in money market, this right here is not invested at all. And this money just kind of been sitting. So when I sat with her today on the one-on-one, I said, hey, look, you got money that need to be invested. But this money right here is still making money because it's earning 3.3%. And it pays out at the end of every month. And then when it pays out, it just puts whatever she made right back in here. But this right here, when it's in cash, this is the amount available that you have to invest into different investment options. All right. So this is what she had here. And this is what most of you guys, if you've been with me for 3+ years and you know that we've been in Nvidia, this is when you look in your portfolio, you will see Nvidia as your. And that's the reason why we talk about Nvidia the way we do. Because guys, I would just tell you this, right? Nvidia, Nvidia guys, this is what's crazy. I go and pick up my kids from school and it's like, man, they happy to see dad. But when I see, man, like, wow, man, these kids, man, like I've been investing into these kids for so long and man, they got Nvidia stock and they don't even realize that how much money that they made on Nvidia today, or they don't realize how much money that they don't made in Nvidia overall. They just concerned about, okay, I'm going home, they baby to get on my iPad now. But when you get in positions like this, and it don't take a lot, but this is where I be teaching you guys. And we talked about the investments for accounts for kids on Sunday and Sunday night class. This is how you give your kids a head start in life when you put your kids in position to have these investments like an Nvidia position. And then guys, that's how your financial future, your financial legacy, your financial generation, that's how it changes lives. It changes lives. We got a prime opportunity where Nvidia has been at 180, 190 from since October. It's been trading between 180, 190. And it had been moving like the last like few months. So I say, you know what? I continue to I've been buying Nvidia since 2021, but when it was down 180, 178, around about the holiday period, I put about $20,000 just steadily, kept buying Nvidia because I know what it's done for my particular family, and I know what it's going to continue to do. Now, guys, you may ask, what is Nvidia? Right? It's making these chips that what you see in AI. So when you go on Facebook, and now you see AI, they use Nvidia chips for that, right? To bring AI into that. Tesla uses AI chips. But man, Nvidia is starting to make a lot of money now on data centers, where it's just like IT infrastructure in these warehouses with these chips, and that's how they making their money through these data centers. So man, I had this one lady, man. I say this quite a bit. Let me see here. I think she on the call right now. But when she had an old 401k account with her job, she uh she rolled it over to an IRA, and we put Nvidia inside her portfolio. She told me about a month ago. She said, "Sherwin, I'm so embarrassed in this current administration on the amount of money that I don't make." And I know a big part of it is because she has a good amount of percentage of Nvidia inside of her portfolio. Now, guys, don't go heavy on Nvidia and make Nvidia 40%, 30% of your portfolio. We're not trying to do that, right? And what I mean by that is this right here. This better is I guess it's better for me to kind of explain it, right? So, and this ain't really good for this young lady, but it's going to be a little bit better too. When you go right here, you see percentage of account, and you see Nvidia right here is 14%. You don't want Nvidia to be like 30, 35% of your overall account, because now whatever Nvidia does is controlling 30 to 40% of your account. A good rationale, maybe 20, no more than 25%. That's still too much, to be honest with you. I would say a range of 15, 18% max, right? Now, if you're over that already, that's totally fine, right? But we don't want to be too over leveraged into one Pacific company in itself, all right? So, uh, man, okay, so Jarvis, he sent me a screenshot. He got Nvidia. He's up 176%. Man, this is good. Good job, Jarvis. Great job. Great job. Okay. So when we go back over here, right, and we look here, right, we saw Nvidia's last 5 years of how the stock has been performing. Now, guys, right here, we're going to go and look at our top 10 investments for 2025. You will see right here, right? So we're batting 3 out of 10. That's just how the overall stock market is performing right about now. So out of these top 10 investments right here, we only have 3 of the investments that are actually up this year. Nvidia's up 4.8. Micron Technology is killing it. They make the storage in these AI chips, right? It's up 50%, and Taiwan Semiconductors up 27%. But the rest of these right here, like Palantir is down 24%, Google is slightly down, Meta, which is Facebook, is slightly down. AMD is down 1.5%. Broadcom, which is another AI chip maker, they're down 3.9%. JP Morgan Chase, the bank, is down 5.8%. That's just where it's at right about now, guys. Stocks are, really hadn't got out to a hot start. But these are the times when you continue to keep buying these, especially a company like here, like Palantir. I mean, it's just beating up. They making AI for the government. All right. But this is how you guys take a screenshot of this as well here. This is how the top 10 investments are performing so far this year. Now, we want to be able to look at the US major indexes, and then I got one hot particular index in your 401k accounts I want you guys to be getting into, right? So when we go over here and we look at the US indexes, we got to go and see how is the man. Look at this right here. Look at this right here. Nvidia all over this. Nvidia to report earnings on February 25th. You go to every page right about now, right? Watch I go ahead to CNBC. They're gonna have Nvidia on the headlines right here, right? Nvidia reports earnings and guidance beats as AI boom pushes data center revenue up. I just talked about that, right? Boom, the data centers, right? Nvidia, this is CEO right here. He says the market's got it wrong on AI threat to software because they're thinking, okay, the AI boom, when is it going to end, right? And guys, here's the crazy thing about this. Y'all know about this because you've been with me. But it's people at your job right about now. They playing the lottery. They going to the casinos. And man, they don't even know about a company by the name of Nvidia. And then now you get yourself in a position like this right here where this young lady, even though she didn't have a lot into it, but she made 215% into Nvidia. People don't even know about this at your job. I guarantee you, if you go and ask the people at your job tomorrow, out of 10 people, if you ask them what is Nvidia, they can't even tell you, right? And so thank God y'all in this community and you're learning, all right? Now, when we look at the U.S. indexes, right, this is what we was talking about right here, the U.S. major indexes, all right? So when we go right here and we look at these U.S. major indexes, we're focusing on the Dow Jones, which is the top 30 companies in America, the S&P 500, which is the top 500 companies in America, and the NASDAQ, which is about 3,000 technology companies. All right, we're focusing on these three U.S. indexes. And so when we talk about the stock market, we're talking about the S&P 500 because it has the top 500 companies and it's spread across 11 different industries, right? So when we look at the S&P 500, we will see right here as we scroll down, we from year to date, from January 1st to whatever date that we at, that's what YTD stands for, right? The stock market is up 1.47% so far this year. All right. That's what the S&P 500 is doing. All right. So that's when your position that you see VOO inside of your IRA account, it follows the S&P 500 index. But guys, I want to put y'all on this one right here. I told people on Sunday when we had the class with the kids for investment accounts, in your 401k accounts, and you can do it in your IRAs too. But guys, I want you guys to get this right here, this international stock index inside of your portfolios. And how you buy it is this right here. The symbol for it is this right here. Is VXUS. All right. So we'll go right here and we're going to say, right, it's going to say right here, this is the Vanguard Total International Stock Index Fund. It's an index fund. An index fund is composed of multiple companies inside of one basket. All right. Now, how is this international stock index fund? Why, Sherwin? Why go into the internationals, right? Well, now we're not putting all of our eggs in the U.S. companies, and now we invest in some of these international companies as well. And so now we get an opportunity to do that through VXUS. And here's why I'm telling you to get into it. Because if you go down here and look year to date, it's up now 11.61%, where you see the US stock market was up 1.4% versus the international market is up 11.61%. And guys, let me explain this here to you. Last year, this fund right here, it was up 32% last year. So it outperformed the US stock market last year. And so that's why the International Stock Index Fund get it inside of your 401k account. So if you don't understand how to do it, schedule a phone call with me. We will do it.